Hey guys, my name is Tyler Marie Watkins. I play Rusty in Panic Productions' version of Footloose. I am so excited to talk to you guys today. If you want to learn more about this show, just stay tuned. I first fell in love with theater when I was like 5 years old, and my mom put me into a couple of children's productions with this amazing company. I ended up doing like my first play was like Peter Pan, the second one was Annie. I did Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat. And then I quit theater when I was like 8 or 9 years old to focus more on dance. Because I believe how the story goes was I told my mom, I was like, I think I'll book more parts if I focus on my dance. So I really honed in on that craft. And then when I was 22, I decided, I was like, you know what? Let me get back into theater. I kind of miss it. I've been dancing too much. And there's so many other things that I would like to do. And theater really hones in all those crafts. So I decided to get back into it. And that's when I met Michelle for Hunchback in Notre Dame. So we got to work together for our first time then. It was a lot of fun. And when did I fall in love with acting? See, I've always been in love with acting. That's kind of like a huge part of dance is like the theatrical acting part of it. So I kind of never really gave up on my love for acting. And I definitely found it when I first saw my Broadway play, I believe. When I saw my first Broadway play, Lion King, at the age of like 5. It was an incredible production, and I looked on stage and I was like, you know what? I think I want to do that. That looks like a lot of fun. Yeah, and ever since there, it lit a fire under me that I wanted to get started in this industry, the theater industry. The process of honing in on a character and character analysis. So I've done a couple plays where these shows have been done before, and then I've also done a play where it hasn't been done before, and I was able to kind of create that character from scratch. And that process was incredible. I mean, they're both incredible. I guess it's two different methods, really, because if it's a play that has been done before, I'll typically do a lot of research on it. I'm looking at videos from like high school productions all the way to Broadway productions. I'm just trying to see how everybody else does the character and then kind of bringing my own twist on it. But if it's a play that I have actually never seen before or it's never been done before, my favorite thing is to read through the whole script several times. And I'll do that with any play, but read through the script several times and really hone in on the meaning of the story, feel what other people are feeling in the stories. Therefore, it'll help with my character as well. I did that for one play that I was in, Apollo 11, and it was an amazing experience. But it was my first acting gig on as opposed to like dancing. It was not musical theater. It was just a play, strictly a play. So it was definitely pulling me out of my comfort zone, but into another comfort zone that I've always wanted to be in. And the theater experience is extremely unique to anybody that is involved in it, or from the audience perspective to the people on stage. I can always come from like a dance background, so I know what like dance auditions are and like dance shows. And while those are incredibly entertaining, there's something about acting and singing and dancing on stage that just gets everybody involved. Like you don't have to be the best at any one thing to be in theater and to enjoy theater and to understand what they're kind of doing on stage. And I think that's like my favorite aspect of theater, is that it kind of can hone in on everybody. It's not niche to one specific crowd, really. People think it is, but it really isn't, especially from an audience perspective. There's just so many different plays that you can watch, so many different shows. It doesn't have to be a musical. It could be things that you're actually interested in. If you like sports, there's plays about sports. If you like singing, there's musicals. I think there's something for everybody there, from the people in the audience and off stage. And I think that's another reason why I like musical theater auditions a lot more than I like dance auditions. Because dance auditions, it's like you get like 1,000 of you in the same room, and we're all doing the same dance moves and we're all doing the same thing. But when you walk into a theater audition, it's like, either you're meant for the part or you're not. Either you're ready for this part or you're not. And it's very, very obvious. Instead of like, oh, well, this person dances the same. I wonder if they're going to pick me because of my hair. You know, with theater, it's very much like either you're ready for this or you're not. And if you're not, then there's another place that we can put you, that there is going to be somewhere, that something that you can do that's going to be beneficial to it. I love watching musicals and performing in musicals because it's just so much fun. I love to get the audience going. I love to bounce off of my other creatives on stage. Watching musicals, it's like no other feeling. Me personally, I want to jump up on stage and be there. I just want to get on stage and do it and dance and sing. But also, like, it's incredible watching people do something that they've practiced for so long and get on stage and do it. I'm such a mom when it comes to that aspect. I'm like, go, sweetie, let's go. I love watching people work so hard on something and to see the final product on stage, because I know that took a lot. And like everything that they're performing right now, regardless of what they think, is incredible to my eyes because I've never seen it before. But I've heard it before, and the way that you're doing it is so beautiful. And yeah, being in the audience of a theater is I always get antsy in it, but I love it so much. I love it so much. And then being on stage, oh my gosh, it's even more incredible because you have all these people that you can bounce off of, and the audience you can bounce off of. There's no other experience like it. I heard about Panic Productions through Michelle, actually the choreographer. So she's the one that introduced me to everybody. This is actually the first time that I've ever met this production company, but let me tell you, it's a powerhouse. The minds that they've curated in this project are pretty incredible. Paul is amazing. I got to work with Barry. Barry is incredible. And of course, Michelle is incredible as well. I wanted to be a part of the Footloose musical because I have never done this show before, but I know all the music. I think it's one of those shows that, like, I mean, you know every word to every song. May as well join in on the fun. And it has definitely been a lot of fun in this show. So I'm playing Rusty. Rusty has a childhood crush named Willard. So throughout the show, you'll see our awkward interactions and us basically trying to move to that next step, but neither of us is ready to move to that next step. Like Rusty kind of doesn't know what to do, and then Willard definitely doesn't know what to do. But we end up having Ren and Ariel come in and kind of like coerce the two together, like, you know, talk to each other. So we're able to kind of meet in the end. Yeah, Rusty's a little bit of a firecracker. She talks really fast. She's borderlining just as goofy as Willard. I think that it's like a perfect match, honestly. The Rusty character and Willard, just because their lines, they're pretty catchy, honestly. They don't really bounce well off each other, but they bounce really well off each other, Willard and Rusty. But yeah, and they're towards the second act, we find out that Willard can't dance, which is a shock to Rusty. So therefore, we have this little montage where Willard learns how to dance, Ren teaches him, and all the other people in the Cowboy Palace. And then by the end, he's a pro. Yeah, and then he eventually asks Rusty to prom. Finally, he has the audacity to say something more than getting tongue-tied. But yeah, no, I love this character. This character's been a lot of fun to get into. I was really nervous about it at first, just due to the demanding music, but it's been a lot of fun. It's been a fun process. It's been a really fun process getting to hone in on Rusty and her songs and stuff. And I've learned that like the singing and the acting can bounce off each other, like character singing and all that stuff, because we're hitting notes that are absolutely insane in this show. And while we can do that, it's nice to be able to have something to lean on. Okay, well, I don't have to be the best singer in the world. I could act it right here instead of singing. You know, it's been a lot of fun because Rusty gives you that ability because she has that comedic timing and stuff like that you can kind of bounce back and forth between you know, ripping it up and, you know, coming back to, okay, what's the story about? You know, yeah, it's been a lot of fun though. The themes that happen in the Footloose musical, it's a really incredibly heartwarming show. It's about a son and their mother who comes to a different town, who is a small town. And actually, I'm not from a small town, but I kind of grew up in a small town, so very much can relate. Actually, grew up in Simi Valley, so like very much can relate to the smaller town mentality, which is a great thing to have. But also sometimes, like as you'll see in this show, it takes one person to be able to kind of like cause a stir in it to potentially make things better, you know? So he comes to town, he finds out that we're not allowed to dance. He sees all these kids around here that are just looking bored. They have nothing to do, and he's bored, more importantly. So he kind of like gets the bandwagon together and lets us know that, you know, this is actually not fair. I don't think that one person should be making all the rules and certainly be telling other people how to vote. So he decides to shake things up a bit, and we go on a lot of adventures. And by the end of it, you get to see if Reverend Moore is going to say yes or no to us being able to dance. It's a yes. But yeah, so at the end, he lets us hold a prom, and we get to live our best lives. It's incredible. I'm looking forward to just being on stage with those creatives. Honestly, those people put such a smile on my face. If there's ever an ounce of fear, stage fright, nervousness, anything like that, all I gotta do is just look somebody on that stage dead in the eye, and I know that we're on the same page and we're in this together, and we're gonna make the best show possible. I think that's the part that I look forward to, is everybody collectively putting their talents together to make this show incredible, because I love seeing things go from point A to point B, and the show has definitely done that in the best way possible. Yeah, so I look forward to working with these creatives again and these amazing talents. Our director Barry, he's amazing. He's a hoot too. He cracks me up. It's been an amazing process working with him. He has some great direction. He's really taken this play to his heart and really put his all into it, while simultaneously giving us the freedom to be able to have choices. It's been amazing for him to actually put direction on it to make these choices just a little bit more crisp. Yeah, I love his style of directing. I love his teaching. He's very sweet, very, very easygoing, which also makes us want to work harder for him, because he puts his whole heart into it, and he really doesn't mind a lot. So yeah, he's been an incredible person to work with. Paul's incredible as well. Our Reverend Moore, he is a producer on the show, actually. He is incredible as well. He's such a sweetheart, and he's so hardworking. If he's not ripping the grip tape off the floor, he's over there practicing his lines. If he's not welding something or screwing a bench in and reinforcing it, then he's over there singing for his next shot. Like, that man is so busy, and it's so admirable to see those types of things. That's why I'm like, anytime I pass him, I'm like, you need some help? I'm like, you want to go over some lines? I'm like, what do you want to do right now? Because I know you have 100,000 things on your brain right now. And he makes it look like he doesn't. But I've worked in production before, so I just know that he does. But yeah, no, it's been an incredible time, and for how this production is, and it's kind of a smaller space, this theater. They're really making it work with ease. They're not, there's never been a stress. It's just kind of like, okay, well, we just got to make this happen, and we're going to make this happen. And with their direction, it's really rubbed off to the cast for any worries that we had, that we're like, oh, what if we can't make it on stage? Like, no, you're going to make it on stage. You'll be okay. And just with that mentality, we've always made it, and everything's always been great. Michelle, I've worked with Michelle a couple times now. She's incredible. We did Hunchback of Notre Dame when in like 2019, I believe. And yeah, she's a powerhouse, an absolute powerhouse. The choreography that she comes up with is incredible. She can really get a room paying attention in a split second, just by the blink of an eye. And sometimes when you're in a huge production and you have a lot to do and there's so many moving pieces, we need that person. Michelle is definitely that person. And it's been incredible. She's such a creative mind. while again letting us have our freedom as well, she'll definitely give us a direction that we need to make it go in the direction that it's supposed to go and that she would like it to go as well. Yeah, this whole team has been incredible to work with, and I love to see how they work with each other as well. They've either they've known each other for years, or they're really good at working together, because that's just how it feels. They're really great. It's been a lot of fun. Footloose musical is still relevant today for many reasons. I think there's a lot of obviously family separation and stuff like that, coming from Ren's corner, moving to a new town, having just left his hometown, basically with half of his family. I think that's a story that a lot of people can relate to, moving to a place that you've never been before, kind of like a fresh new start. I think that's a really impactful story to be able to see his hurt and then how he can grow from that, and also how Ethel, his mom's character, can grow from that as well. It's I think it's an incredible story, because we could all learn something from somebody, even if they had just came to town, or they've been here for years. I think it's important to give people the time of day and let them know that they are heard and their opinions matter, because 9 times out of 10 they're not the only one thinking that. The whole premise of this is that we can't dance, and Ren really wants us to dance. All the kids want to dance, we all want to dance, but it took him to be able to say that, because we're too scared to be able to say something like, we already know how it is, we've lived here our whole lives, and we don't even want to shake anything up, because we know how it's going to be. Now Ren's never been here before, so he said, oh, I got you, I'll shake things up to its absolute core, because it's fun. And to some that might be a little bit annoying, but the kids respected that, we appreciated that, and at the end of the day the adults did too. And it changed a lot of our minds, and I think that that's huge. I think that anything that we believe in life, and anything that we choose to do, or things that we choose to change, like, don't be afraid to speak up. And I think Footloose is a really great reminder of that. I'll say the thing that I think is going to surprise audiences is we have an incredible creative team. I think the thing that's going to surprise people is the fact that it's a sound that you've never heard in any Footloose musical. I mean, we've never had the same people in the same room, so it's a sound you've never heard. But it doesn't sound like the soundtrack, that's for sure. We've definitely honed in on it and curated it to sound great to what we feel like it should sound, and we feel very confident and comfortable in how we sound. I think that there's a lot of songs that are going on that you might hear a little bit of a different twang to it than you would have in the normal musical, or even in the radio versions of the songs. People must go to this show, because honestly, it's an incredible story. We have some incredible creatives on stage. You're going to see some of the production team actually on stage dancing with us and singing with us forevermore. And he's incredible. To see people do both has been incredible. But honestly, this show is just so fun. We're utilizing the full stage, utilizing the audience. It's an incredible time. You're going to hear some amazing singing, amazing dancing. These dancers have worked so hard. Like, I really do feel like this is like Broadway level on a very small stage. We have some amazing dancers on here and amazing singers on here. And if it's not Broadway right now, guarantee you're going to see a couple people that are in this show on Broadway. It's been incredible to watch them, and I think that you should too. Well, I think other actors and directors and other theater creatives should get involved with Panic Productions, because it's been such a blast being able to work with these creatives. The fact they can put on an incredible show in a small amount of time, which is not easy. The way that they can source their actors, the way that they have their casting process, it's been incredible. They're very detailed and very particular, and I appreciate that. It's been a lot of fun to see the wheels turn and to see everybody really get into it. I feel like any theater creative from the critics would really appreciate this show, as well as what Panic Productions has put into it, because they put their whole heart and soul into it. Yeah, and I think that they'd really enjoy the show. It is so important for people to donate to the community and be more involved with the community, because this is such it's a community that can change lives. Like, my first theater show changed my life, and I know a lot of people that can say that. Whether you're on stage or in the audience, you're going to be affected in some way. Just the same way that you're affected in TV, and the same way that you're affected in music. It's, all that combined, but it's live. So it's a little bit more. You get to see everything from the singing to the dancing to the sweat dripping off the forehead. Like, it's something that is really admirable to watch people hone in on their crafts. And that goes with anything from football to soccer to anything. But theater and the arts, it's just, there's nothing like it. You can walk out so happy. You can walk out so sad. You can walk out, whatever the show is affecting you in that way, it's going to affect you. And people put their hearts and their souls into these productions for us, and also for the audience, because we want you guys to have the best experience ever. And we really want to tell this story the way that it's supposed to be told. And we love it. I know the theater community is a lot bigger than you think. People think it's just musicals, but it's not just musicals. There's plays, there's shows, there's so many other things that you can find yourself getting lost in. And it's a beautiful thing. The community that it brings together in the crowd and on stage, and then combined together. It's just, there's nothing like it. I think it's so important to keep arts in the theater alive. Just based on the community that it forms. Is incredible. I am just so excited for you guys to come see this production of Footloose. It's going to be incredible. We've worked so hard, and we've really honed in on this amazing show. We've had a couple runs now, and our feet are wet, and we're really ready to get going, honestly. My name is Tyler Marie Watkins. I'll be playing Rusty in the production of Footloose with Panic Productions. You guys really need to come see this show. Honestly, it's such a great show. We have some amazing people on stage, some amazing singing and dancing, and you're probably going to want to sing and dance along. It's going to be an incredible time, and I can't wait to see you at the theater.